Hello everyone, this is Vlad. Thank you for stopping by on my video. Welcome to the VZ channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how this is my fifth year in China. Wow, time sure does fly. So I will talk about, first of all, why I came to China in the first place, how I managed to settle in China for this long, what I've been doing here, which is kind of related. Finally, I will talk about how long do I plan to stay here. So, first of all, let's discuss why did I come to China in the first place. It takes a certain kind of person to move all the way across the world and just live in a totally different civilization, different culture. Put it simply, I moved here because of a girl. Kind of romantic, right? We met in university, in my first year of university. She was actually in her second year at that time, and we started dating. Yeah, we spent about 3 years in total in the UK together. So yeah, our relationship got quite serious. She was a student there on her student visa, obviously. It's very hard for anyone outside the EU, and probably in the future even someone in the EU, to find a full-time job in the UK, especially if you're just a graduate student. So, she tried to look for it, but eventually she had to come back to China, and we really wanted to be together. And at first we did kind of ponder the option of me letting her come to the UK on a spousal visa, but it's kind of, we were young, it kind of feels weird to get married just so we can be together. Maybe it doesn't sound so silly now, but anyway, at that time it kind of felt iffy. Plus, to be able to do that in the first place, you need to have a certain amount of income, which I couldn't get at that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to China to be together with you. And I came. So now I will tell you how I've managed to come here. Once again, to put it simply, it's work, right? I came here to be on a work visa. So I quickly looked up how I can get a work visa in China and what kind of job I could get here. Me being just a graduate without kind of a super skill like a scientist or a computer programmer, the job I could do is teach English. And actually when we were back in the UK, we were kind of joking about it that, I could go and teach in the UK, teach in China, teach English. I never took it seriously, but now I was like, yo, how do I do this? So I looked it up, and you simply needed to have a degree. Check, I had that. And you need to have either a TEFL certificate or a CELTA certificate, which just kind of means you've had some training to teach English to foreigners. So I thought, okay, let me do this, let me get that certificate. Thank you, Mom, you gave me £1,000 to get a CELTA. It was an intensive 1-month course, and I felt like I was back in school again. And under normal circumstances I would have totally failed, because it's really intensive, you really have to do a lot of tasks, but this was kind of, I have to pass it, I have to get it. So I worked my ass off, I became a student again, and I wrote all the essays and I did all the work. And I got my CELTA certificate. The next thing was find a job, and to my surprise, it was really, really easy to land a job in China. I mean, I had no idea how easy or how difficult it would be. And our target city was Shanghai. I heard that Shanghai was like the most competitive city to get into. So I was really worried, would I be able to find one there with practically no experience? And I did. Actually, I found that job before I even had my CELTA certificate, and we're like, don't worry, you're kind of on a conditional offer sort of thing. And once you have all the documents ready, just send it over to us and come. And I came to China at that time actually on a tourist visa. Once I was in China already, my work applied for a work visa for me. So what have I been doing here? Well, as I said, it's related to the last section. I was doing work, teaching English the whole time. I know some foreigners can do other kinds of jobs here, but I pretty much stuck to teaching, and why not? It's good money, pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Usually our hours are kind of relaxed, and yeah, it's English. In my case, it's my second language, but it's almost like my first language because I grew up in the UK. So it's just something that you're teaching, right? It's very natural. But let me kind of give you the rundown of the specific jobs I did. This is gonna feel like a CV section. The first job I did was what's called a training center, which is where people go to learn something. It doesn't just have to be English. They learn something after school hours or after work hours. So you would work during the weekdays in the evenings, so something like 4 till 8 o'clock in the evening, and the weekends would be the busiest days because that's when people have the most free time. And in China, people on the weekends with free time, they go learn more things, especially children. The parents push them to go to all sorts of clubs like chess club, dancing, English. They don't just chill out, and they always must do something. So the weekends is the busiest. We work from morning till the afternoon. And yeah, when I came here, it felt kind of intensive and very nerve-wracking. I was not used to teaching, and especially we had something called family classes, which if you have one class at the end of the course, so like 6 months, all the parents would come in and watch you, and I'm really nervous. I was like really shy. I was like, you know, I hope the kids behave if it was a naughty class, or I hope they answer all the questions if it was like a silly class. Not silly, not very good at English, let's say that way. Weren't very good learners. But to be fair, I think everyone involved felt some kind of pressure. Like the parents also feel pressure. They're like, oh, I hope my kid does well, and the kids were under pressure. They want to do well in front of everyone. Yeah, it's kind of a pressure cooker, but I'm totally used to it now. But yeah, after that, I did that for about a year, and I changed jobs a lot, relatively a lot in China. There's actually benefits to that, because every time you change, you're gonna get a better offer, unless you change too often. If you change too often in China, it's not that convenient, because you have to go through the whole visa process again. I think I'll do another video on that, but basically, your work visa is tied to your job, so you can't just get a work visa and then work in any place you like. If you leave one place, you have to cancel that visa and start the whole process again. So kind of time consuming, so don't change it too often, but you know, once a year, once every 2 years, find another place. You're gonna get a way higher offer, might be better conditions. So yeah, my second job was in a secondary school. I was teaching English and music to primary school kids and middle school kids. I forgot to mention that my first training center, they were about 4 to 7 years old. Yeah, so I kind of felt like a half babysitter, half teacher. And then when I transferred to that middle primary school, I actually felt like I was talking to normal people and teaching interesting things. That job was really, really nice at first. I stayed there for 2 years, as I said. That's a lot, because the hours were really, really relaxed. There was no office hours. So if I had a lesson, I come and do my lesson. If I have no lessons, I just go home, and I live 10 minutes away from school. It was perfect. So for example, on a Friday, I just had one lesson in the morning, and the lesson is 35 minutes long. I do that, that's it. My Friday is free. I could say I had a 3-day weekend. But yeah, after 2 years, they changed their contract to include office hours, and I was like, bye-bye. Let me look for something else. So yeah, my third job was a kindergarten, and I was interested in working in a kindergarten because rather than having different classes, you just have one class, right? They're your class, you're with them every day, all day, you get used to them, 25 kids, you're not just jumping from classroom to classroom. So I wanted that experience. Yeah, I stayed there for half a year, then the whole pandemic thing happened, and then I jumped to a job which was kind of in trouble. They didn't have many students. That's a whole other story, but yeah, I had to quickly look for another one. And I decided to come back to my first company, training center job. And by that time I felt really confident, you know, in teaching, in my skills, and I had no such pressure. And I thought, actually, you know what, that company is a big company, and I felt more secure there because they're very good at paying you on time, very good at insurance, they're very good at getting your visa done. So it's a reliable place. And yeah, they're one of the companies that didn't go under during the pandemic. Quite a few companies just kind of disappeared during the pandemic, which is sad in China. But yeah, this one stayed on. Yeah, and that's where I am now, and not to disclose my numbers maybe in a future video, I have a way better offer from them currently than when I first came to China. That leads me to the next section of the video. How long do I plan to stay here? You might be wondering if I miss home. The answer is a definite yes. Actually, during this 4.5 years, I've only been back home once. Even that was just for a week. China has been like really great to me in terms of salary to living costs ratio. I've actually been able to save money, which I've never been able to do before, living in the UK. And also, you know, the experience of being on the other side of the world, meeting people, trying new food, traveling here. I will do a big video about the reasons that I like living in China, but home is home, and it's always been the plan to come back in a relatively short amount of time, life-wise, about 5 years max, and we're just coming up to that mark. Current plan is to come back to the UK when my current contract ends, which is at the beginning of summer 2021. One of the reasons, I won't go into everything, but one of the reasons I want to come back is that when I come back, I'll have to start a new career all over again, and we're not getting any younger, right? So if I come back before I'm 30, I'm still fresh and I can start a new career. The reason is because I don't think my experience of teaching babies English is going to account too much in England. Yeah, I'll have to look for something new and start all over again and settle down. I have a son now, so he's gonna have to go to school there. Yeah. It's an exciting new chapter when we come back. Hopefully everything's good in the world soon. Alright, well, thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. Have you ever lived in another country? How long? Where did you live? And how was your experience? I'm really interested to know. Alright, see you next time. Bye-bye.